Hey everybody, it's Aidan here once again, and welcome back to the channel, as it's time to whack on the smooth jazz, pour yourself an ice cold drink, and wait to punt the rival of chat, as we delve into the real world motorsport for a bit in another episode of Pressing Issues. Yeah, new title card and all that good stuff, well, at the beginning anyway. But if you've been here before, you'll be pretty clued up as to how things work here. Unlike Storytime, which is told exactly how it happened, irrespective of whether or not you like what happened or not, Pressing Issues is delivered in sort of a, I'm not in the business of caring about other people's feelings type of manner. And if you disagree with me, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. Nor does it mean that you are wrong. Everybody is allowed an opinion. Anyway, today's PI, because abbreviating stuff on the internet is cool these days, comes off the back of, yeah. Sim racing's been pretty popular at the minute, hasn't it? All because of that thing I can't say because YouTube will assume I'm peddling fake news conspiracy theories about it. So to avoid demonetization or being shut down, we'll just call it Dat Boy. Oh shit, 200 cases of Dat Boy in Birmingham. And as the result of Dat Boy, the Premier League, the Football League, the Bundesliga, La Liga, the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, boxing, snooker and motorsport have all been shut down because of Dat Boy. And now NASCAR and Indycar are holding their own races using the real drivers on iRacing. The Codemasters F1 games are putting on events with the F1 guys as well as invited celebrities. And my new friends over at The Race are putting on events in R Factor 2, including drivers such as Tony Kanaan, Nicky Team, and big names in the sim racing scene such as Rudy Van Buren, Ian Yovsky, and, well, me actually. Yeah, I got invited into it. Who'd have thought? Here's me and Philip Eng practicing for Strictly. They got a 7 from Jolyon Palmer and a 10 from Len. And you only need to be in chat for half a second to see how much of a crowd draw certain drivers can be. Yesterday was just, where's Vettel? Where's Vettel? Show us Vettel. Put Vettel's camera up. Where's Vettel? Where's Vettel? And chat moderation was... It was fun, to put it that way. It was nowhere near as bad as when Max was racing, though. That was something else. But now, we've seen 4 drivers in the space of a month land themselves in hot water over things they've said or done in one of these events. First is Bubba Wallace, who rage quit from a NASCAR race and said something to the effect of, "This is why I don't play these shitty video games," which led to one of his sponsors pulling funding. And then there's Kyle. And also in the States, we've got whatever the fuck that was last night in the Indycar race involving Simon Pagenaud and Santino Ferrucci. So the Indycar guys are racing in Indianapolis, and they were joined by 2 guest drivers. Double V8 Supercar champion Scott McLaughlin and F1 driver Lando Norris. Close to the end of the race, Pagenaud and Graham Rahal end up 3 wide going into turn 2. Rahal shits himself and shoots up into Pagenaud after Lando dives up the inside, putting last year's Indy 500 winner into a wall. Pagenaud returns to the pits and made the same mistake Kyle Larson did. Now here's the thing. At college and university, I did audio engineering and music. The first thing you're taught when you're going into a recording studio or when doing a broadcast is that you have to assume every camera is on and every microphone is hot, irrespective of whether or not you are on camera at that particular point or speaking. Pagenaud said, words to this effect, "Let's get Lando." Simon, if you're going to wreck, don't announce to the world you're going to do it. Pagenaud comes into the pit lane, gets a fast repair, exits the pits, and on his way out, asks his spotter where Norris is. 6 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 and a bit seconds. Exit of turn 4, he checks up and Norris is sent into Narnia, while Pagenaud ends up in the fence. They're both in the fence. They're all in the fence. So I can only imagine what Pagenaud's DMs looked like this morning. I mean, his latest Instagram post was a fun read this morning anyway. And this brings me into the meat of what I wanted to say here today. I understand that esports and sim racing isn't for everybody. I had 70 viewers on my live stream when I raced at the Nürburgring last time out in the race all-star e-battle contest thing, whatever it is. My audience doesn't care much for sim racing. Not everybody wants to watch it, for varying reasons. There's no risk, they get unlimited tyres, it's not realistic, it's just a video game. It's just a video game. So if it's just a video game, why are Lando's fans treating what Pagano did as if it was Suzuka 1989? Or is it only just a video game until your driver gets wiped out? Because that's what it's feeling like. But then I wouldn't expect anything less from Lando's fanbase, most of them are 9 years old anyway. The comments have ranged from Pagano's jealous he's just an IndyCar driver, he was salty a non-IndyCar driver was going to win, which was said by Lando himself, to the generic what a prick, but it's just a video game, right? I mean, the race was won by Scott McLaughlin, so it was won by a non-IndyCar driver anyway. The thing is, F1 snobs are going to be quick to jump on the back of what's happened at Indianapolis this weekend and slam Pagano and Santino Ferrucci for what they did. Pagano for what he did to Lando, and Ferrucci for whatever the hell that was. Meanwhile, on the official F1 game, that's not a beacon of driving standards for the world either. If what happened at Indianapolis was a meme, then the F1 esports stuff is just straight up shitposting. Lando's launching into gaps on the insides of corners wasn't looked at favourably either from the Indy crowd. In the simulated world he can get away with it, in the real 500 people would be having words with him. And take the race all-star thing I did on the same day as this Indy catastrophe. I was punted, dive-bombed, bump-drafted, smashed, and everything else you'd expect from an open lobby in Forza. The previous week I was put into the pit wall. Yesterday was admittedly a bit chaotic, but this morning in the WhatsApp group we were having a good chuckle about it, but we would, because it's just a video game, right? So I shouldn't take it so seriously and or personally that Lachlan Di Francesco, Sebastian Priaulx or Philip N got their elbows out. I guess in my position, I don't have sponsors giving me money with which to go racing, virtual or otherwise. Well, Zancho is sponsored by Silverstone Composites, so our behaviour in racing needs to be kept in line. If we start punting and acting like dicks, then Silverstone Composites will be well within their rights to go, we don't want our logo on your cars anymore. And that's where we get into the whole, well, is it a video game or not? And I brought this up in the Kyle Larson Pressing Issues episode. His sponsors didn't want to look like mugs after all the money they've handed over to him, so for the everyman on the street, then yes, it might just be a video game, but for these sponsors, at this point in time, it's still business. But at the same time, Lando fans, calm your tits. It seems to be just a video game until your driver is wiped out, and that's what I'm trying to point out here. I'm trying to point out the hypocrisy of it all. Pagano looked like a dick, yes, but you don't do the F1 fanbase any favours yourselves by acting like children. I know most of you are, but don't make it blindingly obvious. And with that boy shutting down racing, us race fans want something to replicate that as best as possible, right? So why not get a bunch of the drivers together in rFactor 2 or iRacing and have some fun races? The key word there being fun. It's just fun. There's no prize money for the pros, it's all something for us to do to keep us occupied while we're all on lockdown. And I get that for some people it won't be the same, especially if you've never seen rFactor 2 or iRacing before. But at the same time, you've got people who will see these sims for the first time and think, hey, I can get in on this looks like a lot of fun and looks something to do. A real driver would kick my ass on a real track while I might be able to keep up in a simulator like I did at the weekend. But I've been in iRacing practice servers with Max and other real drivers in the run up to the Bathurst 12 Hour and Daytona 24. You see those names? You step up your game. It's an incentive and it's a bloody big one as well. To say you stuck one on a real driver or beat a real driver would be something you can hold on to forever. Coanda Simsport won the top split iRacing Bathurst 12 Hour this year, beating Team Redline who had Verstappen and Shane Van Gisbergen on their entry list. This will all be forgotten once the real racing starts up again, and these esports battles or whatever will be limited to a winter series or something like that. It has been fun, and yeah, you do get frustrated when you are punted off, but there's no trophies on offer, there's no prize pool for the pro drivers, it's not an actual championship, it's Well, it's just a video game. But at the same time, maybe these pro drivers should start acting with a modicum of professionalism. I don't know what you're thinking. What about Kyle? Well, dropping the N-word is slightly different to punting, isn't it? But let me know what you think. Has Lando's fanbase overreacted? Is Pagano a wanker? What was Ferrucci thinking when it went askew with askew? Let me know in the comments section. There's probably bits I've missed. So thanks for watching. If you think I've made some decent points, click the like button. And if you want to see more of this or any of the other stuff I do here, then click subscribe. Massive thanks, as always, goes out to my patrons on Patreon, and if you wish to join them or join in the Discord chat or follow me on social media, everything you need is in the description box, already written for you. So until next time, I've been Aidan Millward, have a great day wherever you are, and goodbye.